Good afternoon, class. This is page 108, comparative and superlative adjectives. So we use comparative and superlative adjectives to compare people or things. So adjectives: hard, funny, easy, successful, common, friendly, quiet. Comparative plus than, harder, funnier, easier, more or less successful, more or less common, friendlier, more friendly, quieter, more quiet. Superlative: the hardest, the funniest, the easiest, the most least successful, the most least common, the friendliest, most friendly, the quietest, and the most quiet. So the library is a quieter place to study than my room. Math is the hardest of my classes. With both comparative and superlatives, the second part of the comparison can be a noun phrase. This week's test was more difficult than the one we had last week. This week's test was probably the hardest one that we've had all year. We can make comparative adjectives stronger by using a lot, even, far, and much. We can use a bit or a little to make a comparative adjective less strong. Today's test was much harder than our last one. I hope our next one is a bit easier. And so, using these adjectives here, the comparative and the superlative. So, what this means is when we compare two things or two people, we want to use the comparative form with the word than. Superlative is the most, right? So, um, if you take a look here, the er added to an adjective, a short adjective usually, is going to mean more. Okay, it's equivalent to more. The superlative, you do need the article the and est for a short adjective, and that means the most. Okay, and so when you have just some examples here, an adjective, so there are several different adjectives. Let's just say mad, happy, sad, um, long, short, pretty, beautiful, just for some examples here. So in its adjective form, mad is one syllable, and so that would the comparative would be well, here it's a double consonant, but ultimately the key is it ends in er, and so that is the comparative, or the superlative would be the maddest, right? Because the root or the adjective is just one syllable. So I am madder, and then we want to use the word than. I'm madder than her, right? I'm comparing two people, her and myself. She is the maddest person in class, right? And so this is three, four, five. It's more than two people. It's the most person in class. So that is all of the people in class, right? But just an example, right? Same thing. So happy, when an adjective ends in Y, we remove the Y and change it to IER. And then if it is for the superlative, IEST. And again, ER is going to mean more. So we compare. She is happier. And I mean, if there is a known understanding of a comparison of two people or things, that sentence is complete. But to be more specific, because we are using ER, we are comparing two people or things. She is happier than him, right? She is the happiest in class. So yeah, same rules with all of these. ER, EST, short, one syllable, shorter, shortest, pretty, ends in the Y. And so we change that to IER. and the prettiest. And then for beautiful, long adjectives here. So successful, 2, 3, 4 syllables, right? Successful is 3. Common is 2 syllables. So we don't add an er here or a beautiful list because these are long adjectives. We don't modify the word. We add more and most for the superlative form, right? Same thing here, expensive. We've got 3 syllables, so we don't end in er or est. It's just going to be the bike is more expensive than the scooter. The car is the most expensive here. Just some examples, right? But because expensive is 3 syllables, we again do not change it and add er or est. So hopefully this helps out. If you do have questions, as always, please reach out. Office hours, of course, email, things like that. Thank you very much.